Hello and welcome to the Healthcare Executive Insights podcast. My name is Elliot Sloan with the Macallan Group. And today we have a very special guest, Hillary Small, who is the marketing director at the Biostation. Hillary, thanks for taking time to chat with us today. Please tell us a little bit about your professional experience, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the Biostation.
Sure. So good morning, and thank you for having me, Elliot and the Macallan Group. So my professional experience started in advertising agencies. So pretty much right out of high school, I started as an intern in an advertising agency and worked in different agencies, mostly small boutique firms, for the first 20 years of my career, which, during that time, led me to where I am today. Actually, the Biostation was one of my clients at not the last agency that I worked at, but the one I was with before, and happened to be there for 14 years. So I'd like to say that my agency experience and, having worked in, small but mighty boutique agencies for so long really has helped contribute to building a super successful in-house marketing department. So that's where I started and kind of how I ended up here, the short story.
It must have been exciting for you to actually be on the other side of the field, so to speak, right? As an agency, you have a lot of different clients that you're helping grow their business, and you're constantly pivoting from one business to another. Whereas this opportunity for you, this is your core mission, is to focus on this one business and take everything you've learned from the agency world and
Correct.
to apply it to one goal or one mission. Talk to me about that transition.
Sure. I loved advertising and I knew that that's what I wanted to do. But all the while, and working in advertising, I was like, wouldn't it be amazing if I could just do this for one company?
Yeah.
And I think, probably a lot of people that work in advertising think that, like, what if I could put all these resources that I'm like, putting into these 10 clients into one company? Like, what an amazing thing that would be. What could I do? So now that I'm here and have been here for over 4 years, I've built an in-house marketing department that I used my knowledge from the agency, because working in small boutique agencies, I always worked in small agencies that were very nimble and put out great work in high volume. So I know how to do it. So I know how to put together a team and give the direction to, get that output that's necessary now for 12 locations.
Sure. And tell me a little bit about the Biostation.
Sure. So the Biostation started in 2013. The two founding partners are Keith Fallis and Ross Bloom. So in 2013, when they had the idea to start what is an anti-aging and medical wellness company in Delray Beach, has since grown to 10 plus locations. They're entrepreneurs, they're not doctors. So Dr. Martin Bloom, who's the medical director, he is Ross's father and was a cardiologist. He started off as a cardiologist, a very well-respected doctor in Boca Raton. So, Ross went to him one day and was like, I had this idea. What do you think? And Ross was really surprised when Dr. Bloom, pretty much without hesitation was like, yes, absolutely. That sounds amazing. And then started, going through the education process again, very late in his career to become able to practice functional medicine, which is basically the core of what we do here at the Biostation is functional medicine and getting to the root cause of, why people feel the way they feel as they age. So certain symptoms that, everyone starts to experience, in their 30s, mid 30s, 40s, 50s, our goal is to help people feel great and then prevent and reverse age-related diseases. So Dr. Bloom, being a cardiologist and really seeing patients at the point where a lot of times it's not reversible. So this gives him the ability to treat patients at a point where, he can help them live, a better quality of life as they age and really not encounter certain diseases or things that they may otherwise fall victim to if, they didn't get any sort of functional medicine treatment.
Yeah. And functional medicine is something that is definitely a buzz topic within healthcare, but I don't think people fully understand what it is and who it's beneficial for.
Sure.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how long functional medicine has been a widespread service when it comes to healthcare and who's a good fit for it?
So, functional medicine has been around for a very long time. And for us, I would say, and just in general, the pandemic really fueled people's wanting to improve their immunity and really paying attention to health and wellness. So I would say that while it's been around for a very long time, holistic medicine, regenerative medicine, functional medicine, they all kind of go hand in hand and are very similar. In that they look to get to the root cause of what people's symptoms are. So if somebody comes to us for a headache, we're not going to put a Band-Aid on it and say, just go home and take an Advil. Well, we're going to find out why, you have that headache. Is it because you have a deficiency in a certain, vitamin or mineral or whatever it might be? But yeah, so it's getting to the root cause and really treating patients with natural remedies. So everything that we do at the Biostation and functional medicine in general, it is a natural, it's treatment by, natural means essentially to, help bring that body to its optimal state. Sure. So like I was saying before, so our patients typically are men and women age 35 plus, and they are encountering symptoms that come along with aging. So, having trouble sleeping, not being able to lose weight, brain fog, losing energy, in the afternoon, just feeling like you have to take a nap. All of those things are not, people think that it's normal, but it's not normal, and it doesn't have to be. So with our approach and, functional medicine, we start off by doing blood work and taking a patient through a process, which we call a total wellness evaluation. And through that process, they're getting their blood work done. They're meeting with the doctor. They're finding out why they may be encountering these symptoms. And then they get a plan of action essentially from the medical provider that has been assigned to them on, how they can get their body back to, its optimal state and treat the symptoms that they're having and, help them feel their best essentially.
Sure. So it sounds like you do very in-depth workups and diagnostics to really get to the root issue. Maybe not even issue, but to help with aging issues that everyone goes through.
That's correct. Yes.
And now, why are these services not typically offered at a family medicine doctor?
Well, so what we do is not typically covered by insurance. It's elective. And the core services that we offer they fall within a pillar that we call Defy Age. And bioidentical hormone therapy is one of the main services that we do offer. Sometimes it's covered by insurance, but in most cases it is elective. The blood work part of what we do, so that initial blood panel that tests over 100 biomarkers, a lot of times that can be covered by insurance if you have a good PPO. But for the most part, functional medicine, for whatever, we can debate on, the reasons why it's preventative medicine. You're preventing yourself from getting sick. You're preventing yourself from, going on the medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, all of these things that, in most cases can be prevented through natural means. You're preventing these things.
You would think the insurance companies would be very inclined to want to cover the costs of these services, because if they were to do so, it would save them money fighting diseases in the long run.
Right. Which, yeah, I mean, and that's a whole nother conversation. But what we find are companies, so corporate wellness. A lot of big companies have, wellness programs and benefits that they're giving to their employees to essentially help productivity, to bring their insurance costs down.
Talk to me about the patient experience. At the end of the day, that's what really matters.
We invest a lot in the patient experience. So here, like I said, I'm in our corporate offices in Delray. We have a patient care center that is on the second floor. So we operate our retail location, which is what was our first one here in East Delray Beach. And then upstairs are our corporate offices and the patient care center. And we have, I think we're pushing 20 patient advocates. And all of our medical providers are highly trained functional medicine providers, and they include doctors, nurse practitioners, physician's assistants, and we have a whole team of nurses, because within our locations, we run IV lounges, because, that goes hand in hand with when we put a plan together for the patient, getting their vitamins, minerals optimized. You don't have to go through the process to come into one of our IV lounges, but it supports it. So we have a full menu of, 30 to 40 plus IVs. We offer, glutathione, B12 injections, many different formulations of B12 injections that people can just walk in for.
Talk to me about how telemedicine has impacted the business model.
Sure. So we were always practicing telemedicine to an extent, but again, with the pandemic, we really we enhanced our services as it relates to telemedicine. We use a HIPAA compliance is, obviously extremely important across everything that we do. So, making sure that when our providers are either speaking on the phone or, whether it's a video chat with a patient, we're, using these platforms. But I would say 50% of our consultations are currently now done remotely, whether it be on the phone or through a video chat.
Yeah, I mean, I think it helps the patient experience for a lot of people who have very busy schedules and want to get the service that they're looking for in an expedited manner. So, I'm sure you welcome everyone to come into the office if that's what they prefer. But yes. I'm hearing throughout the industry that a lot of patients are, when they have the option, going for the telemedicine consultation.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and we can even send a phlebotomist to your home or your business. So if you're super busy, and you don't even have the time to come in and get your blood drawn, if you live in an area where that service is available, I believe now I think it's an additional $50, which for a lot of people, it's worth it to have somebody come to them to do that blood draw. And during the pandemic, when we weren't able to have people coming into our facilities, we were able to send on a dime. We aligned with the companies that were able to send the phlebotomist to our patients' homes,
sure,
so that they could continue their care.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Now, do most of these patients stay with you for are they patients for life?
So retention is another thing that we focus a lot on, and that's where the patient advocate model, the technology, and all of the things that we have built to, that patient journey. So making sure that when somebody does come through the process, they get their blood work done, they're super excited, they get on the plan, and let's say they have, 50 pounds to lose, which doesn't happen overnight, right? But you're on the plan and you want to see results. Maybe you're not getting the results that you think you should be getting. It's really important that the patient advocates stay on top of, the patients, how they're feeling, are their symptoms subsiding, really setting the expectations that, when you start therapy, there is a period of time that, you may not see immediate results, but they will happen. they're not necessarily a patient for life unless, we're doing our part to make sure that, they're getting the level of service and the care required to become a patient for life, essentially.
Well, the reality is the process of aging never stops, right?
It doesn't, but we can make it more fun, more manageable. And that's the thing. Like, women especially feel that, and I'm a huge advocate of this, they feel that they have to go through these painful symptoms of menopause. You don't have to go through it. It is not normal. There are ways that you can still feel great and not go through the things that, make life difficult, during that period of time.
So let me leave you with this one question. What are you excited about for the future of functional medicine? What do you see the next 10 years looks like for functional medicine?
So I see that it's going to become more widely accepted. I see that, just based on the podcasts that I listen to, the social media that I follow personally, and really being on a personal level interested and involved, in the space, as well as obviously professionally, I do see that it is becoming more mainstream, more widely accepted. And and there's different levels of acceptance, right? So you have, potentially somebody who might just be coming in for one IV treatment to somebody who is considered a biohacker, right? And that's not what we do. But that's the extreme, right? But I do see that, over time, as it becomes more accepted, people are going to become more knowledgeable about it. People are going to become more proactive with their health. I know, and I see it, and I see that, there are companies out there that are making it more approachable. That you can order a kit to test your blood, and you can send it back in. You don't, with that, you're not necessarily getting the personalized level of, service and monitoring and all of the things that the Biostation offers, essentially. But it's just continuing to make steps in the direction of people really being able to be proactive with their health, and that's where I see it going, for sure.
Absolutely. With your help and the team at the Biostation, hopefully there'll be plenty more people living past 100 years old.
Yes, and I hope to be one of them, for sure.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Hillary. We've learned a lot, and it's really exciting to hear about the explosive growth you're seeing over at the Biostation. We'll have to check up with you in a few months when you're on to 20 plus locations.
Yes, for sure. I will be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Take care now.
Bye-bye.